stop. That next purchase isn't the key to better work. Every month you delay seeing the pattern, you accept a future where your gear owns you. For 95% of creatives, this, one more purchase, habit quietly becomes a five-figure mistake by year's end. That's $10,000 plus left on the table. Stop letting this cycle chip away at your freedom. Together, I'll show you how to break it for good. Before we dive in, I want to be crystal clear. I'm a financial educator, not a licensed financial advisor. The ideas we talk about here are for educational purposes, to help you build awareness and ask better questions. This isn't personalized financial advice, so please always consult with a qualified professional for your unique situation. Okay, let's get into it. At the heart of this cycle is a conflict most creatives feel but rarely name: the awkward separation between our art and our commerce. We're raised on the myth of the starving artist, the idea that to be pure in your craft, you must be detached from the money it generates. This makes us deeply uncomfortable with pricing our own value. Talking about rates can feel transactional, even dirty, as if it taints the very passion that drives us. So, where does that need for validation go? It gets channeled into something tangible, something we can put a price on: our gear. That new camera isn't just a camera. It's a stand-in for the professional rate you were afraid to charge. That premium software subscription isn't just a tool. It's a badge of legitimacy you bought instead of building through client testimonials. We start believing the tools make the artist, because we're uncomfortable declaring that the artist, our skill, our vision, our time, is what holds all the value. We pour our resources into assets that immediately begin to depreciate, while neglecting the one asset that is meant to appreciate over our entire career. This leaves us trapped, trading our financial freedom for a fleeting sense of professional worth. So how do we fundamentally shift our focus from the tools we own to the value we create? The answer lies in embracing a principle so fundamental it governs every sustainable business, yet is so often misunderstood in our creative circles. It's the principle of value exchange. This isn't some cold, corporate concept, it's a deeply human one. At its core, it's the simple truth that a client is not buying your tools, your time, or your process. They are paying to receive an outcome that is more valuable to them than the money they are giving you. They are exchanging one resource, cash, for another, a solution, a transformation, an emotion. Think about it. A small business owner isn't paying a designer for a logo. They're buying the feeling of legitimacy and the potential for customer trust. A couple isn't hiring a videographer just to film their wedding. They're buying the ability to relive one of the most important days of their lives forever. When we get lost in the cycle of one more purchase, we are obsessing over the tools used to build the bridge. But the client doesn't care about the brand of hammer you use. They only care that the bridge gets them safely to the other side, to their desired outcome. Internalizing the principle of value exchange shifts your entire mindset from inward-facing to outward-facing. The central question is no longer, is my gear good enough to justify my price? It becomes, is the solution I provide valuable enough to solve my client's problem? This is where true confidence comes from. It's not found in a gear bag. It's built by repeatedly and reliably delivering a valuable result. This reframes the entire financial conversation. Money is no longer something you have to awkwardly ask for. It becomes the natural, fair conclusion to the value you've created. It's the energy that flows back to you after you've solved a problem for someone else. This is the foundation of a career that lasts. Gear depreciates. Software becomes obsolete. But your ability to understand a client's needs and deliver a transformative result, that is an asset that only appreciates over time. I know this concept of value exchange can feel a little abstract. So, to make this principle tangible, let's use an analogy from a world we all understand intimately: the world of storytelling. Every great storyteller understands a fundamental truth that we often forget. Imagine a young writer, deeply insecure about their voice. They believe the key to being taken seriously is to use the most complex, sophisticated language possible. They spend hours hunting for $10 words, believing that a dense vocabulary will prove their genius. But what happens? the reader gets lost. The emotional core of the story is buried under the weight of words that are meant to impress rather than connect. The writer, in trying to prove their worth through their tools, their vocabulary, has completely missed the point. The point was never the words, it was the story. It was the feeling. Our one more purchase habit is the creative professional's version of this. We are that insecure writer collecting a thesaurus of expensive gear. We believe the technical specs, the brand names, and the latest features are the vocabulary that will finally make us legitimate. We think the client will be impressed by our list of equipment. But just like the reader, your client doesn't care about the complexity of your tools. They care about the clarity of the outcome. They care about the story you help them tell. The gear is just the ink, it's not the novel. So if the tools are merely the ink, how do we shift our focus from the pen we're holding to the story we're creating? The shift begins by consciously changing the role you see yourself playing. For too long, many of us have identified solely as the artist, a role that, while beautiful, can keep us passive. The artist waits for inspiration, hopes their work will be discovered, and often ties their self-worth to external validation. This mindset is what makes the promise of one more purchase so seductive. It offers a shortcut to feeling worthy. The path forward is to embrace the identity of the creative professional. This isn't about becoming a corporate drone or losing your soul, it's about stepping into your power. A creative professional is an active steward of their talent. They are a problem solver who understands that their creativity is a service, a powerful, valuable service. Their primary question shifts from an internal, "What gear do I need to feel legitimate?" to an external, "What does my client need to succeed, and how can my unique vision deliver that?" This redefines your relationship with your toolkit. A new piece of gear is no longer an emotional purchase to quiet your imposter syndrome. It becomes a strategic investment to solve a specific client problem that your current tools cannot. It's a deliberate business decision, not a security blanket. Ultimately, the mindset shift is this. You stop defining yourself by the tools you own and start defining yourself by the problems you solve. It's a move from an identity of passive possession to one of active service. This is the core change that breaks the cycle. So let's bring it all together and lay out the blueprint for putting this shift into practice. So here is the blueprint in its simplest form. Stop chasing validation through your gear and start building it by delivering value. The cycle of one more purchase is fueled by the belief that your tools define you. The path to freedom is realizing that your clients don't hire your equipment, they hire your ability to deliver a specific outcome. When you shift your identity from someone who tutoos tools to someone who solves problems, your entire financial reality changes. Purchases become strategic, not emotional. Your confidence is built on your results, not your receipts. For the comments, I'd love to know, what is the one purchase you regret the most? The one you thought would be a magic bullet for your career? Sharing these stories helps us all see the pattern more clearly. And if you're ready to stop buying security blankets and start building a truly sustainable creative business, hit that subscribe button. Let's continue building your blueprint together.